Today, we're roasting coffee. 200 grams of Kenya in my trusty Caldi Mini. I've been having a little trouble getting the temperature dialed in recently. I've been either a little bit too hot or a little bit too cold. Yesterday I was a little bit too cold, so I'm going to crank it up just a tidbit and try to go from there. Before we get the fire started, though, we got to ventilate properly. So, I think this ventilation is really only marginally good for what we're doing. Because I smoked this place up pretty good. Alright. Better make sure we got power before we do anything, ding dong. There we go, that's better. Alright. And that's a little too much. No, it's a little too little. So I need to crank it up just a tick. I want to try to make all the yellow out of the flame. But that just seems to always be wide open. I don't... Alright. It doesn't take any time for this thing to heat up anymore once I've removed the diffuser from my setup. Again, I'm just going to try to roast 1 minute into second crack. What I'm calling second crack is once it's like rolling. So 1 minute into rolling second crack, which should put me in a French territory. And so I'm just trying to develop that as like my baseline, because then I can like back my temperatures off to achieve the other roast levels. At least that's what I'm going with. Boy, we're there already. Try to get that down in the beans. All right, here we go. Our charge temperature again is 400 degrees. And then now I'm angling I'm trying to get it down into the beans to try to get a more accurate bean temperature. I've been getting really hot readings because I think I've just been getting the air temperature. My roasting coffee dance. Our temperature is already starting to rise before a minute. I'm already reading 298 back at a minute. Alright, well, I'm in between Thursday and Friday's roast, which is where I need to be. Chaff is flying. Boy, heats are coming on. Saturday, November the 8th, 68 degrees, 57% humidity today. It has been raining overnight, one of them misty mornings. Reading 3:35 at 2 minutes. Well ahead of Friday. And behind where we were on Thursday. Okay, alright. Do the coffee dance. I'm not a very good dancer. I'm about as good a dancer as I am singer. Well, that rate of rise is really kicking right now. Alright. Chaff is flying. Oh, dang, I forgot to wear my hat. I'm going to have chaff in my hair. It's like industrial hillbilly. It's an industrial hillbilly dance. Incorporates hillbilly dancing and the industrial sound of a crank turning coffee beans. I can't help but to move. It's like the rhythm in my soul. Rate of rise. It's just 9 degrees, okay. And that was. Get me a light right there so I can see these damn beans. .400 degrees I'm reading at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So theoretically, first crack should be coming along anytime now. I don't think I'm getting a bean temperature. Truly a bean temperature, but I don't guess it necessarily matters. Nine-degree rate of rise seems to have locked in 9 to 10 degree rate of rise, so that's good. Even though it's not necessarily a correct bean temperature, at least it shows a consistent temperature. Because I'm at 6 minutes reading 427 degrees. First crack should happen around 405, 410. So I'm not getting bean temperature. The physics of it just don't matter, don't make sense. 6:22 was the first sound I'm going to call. I'll call that first crack at 6:40. reading 433 degrees. Definitely cracking. My rate of rise has stalled out, as has been typical of my roast. Cracking good, chaff's flying. Pretty good smoke coming out of there. Okay, we've stalled. The heat has definitely stalled between 7 and 7.5 minutes. Still reading 434. Pretty good crackle. As the first crack wanes, the heat starts to pick back up. It's still first crack though, I believe. I'm pretty sure I want there to be a gap between the end of first crack and the beginning of second crack, which what I've not been getting when it's too hot. But see, listen, this is second crack already, and there really wasn't much of a gap. Just what I was talking about. Son of a bitch. All right, 9 minutes. I'm going to call that rolling second crack. So I'm going to drop at 10. I just think I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll taste it in 4 days, and that's the true determination. Now the black smoke really starts to roll. Strong crack. That's magic happening, baby. All right, now we're going to drop it 10 minutes. Boy, the temperature is reading hot. Ten minutes reading 499. That's hot, baby. That's hot. Oh, where's my other mitt? Get out of there. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Goodness gracious, look at that smoke. All right, I'm definitely not reading bean temperature. I don't think there's any way that I'm reading bean temperature. That's almost got up to almost 500 degrees. And while these things are pretty dark, they're still a good, kind of a real dark brown. They're not black yet. Although some of them are pretty dark. Can't really see right here. Ay, caramba. My heat control is not great. What's it, a Camp Chef, I think? 30,000 BTU. It's plenty of juice. Plenty of juice for a bigger coffee machine. But it is not dialed in on that gas flow thing. I mean, it's kind of, I barely move the knob. But I guess when it comes to roasting coffee like this, you're looking at a 16-minute to a 9-minute time frame, it really is just a tiny tweak of the temperature. So I just need to back off ever so slightly and try it again. Which we'll see. This coffee is probably plenty delicious. I think my concern is that there wasn't a gap between the end of first crack and the beginning of second crack, because there should be a little development time in there between the end of first crack and the beginning of second crack. Now, with my 16-minute roast yesterday, I did get a gap. But I just have a feeling that coffee's just going to be overdeveloped, over-roasted. 16 minutes is a long time. This one done in 9 minutes today it did not have any time between end of second crack and beginning of first crack. So I roasted it at too hot a temperature. So we will back off the temperature just a little bit, back off the heat intensity tomorrow just a little bit. See, that's why I initially thought a diffuser was going to help me out, but the diffuser just really impeded my progress. Now I just got to get that sucker dialed in. Anyway, thanks for joining me for today for roasting a Kenya coffee. 1 full minute into rolling second crack. This should be a French roast. You know, I bought a Pete's coffee, some coffee beans, just to kind of compare what store-bought beans look like compared to mine. And the French roast Pete's beans were not oily at all. It did not look like they were roasted into French, from what I understand a French roast is to be. And I find that curious. Or maybe it was just a dark roast. Either way, your dark roast, you should start to have slightly oily beans, right? Otherwise, you're just in a city. Because once second crack starts, you're going to get a little bit of oiliness on your bean, aren't you? I don't know. The Pete's beans are delicious, I ain't going to lie. I also got some Pete's medium roast coffee. I messed up and got grounds instead of beans on the medium roast. But it's a much more of a brown ground once you get it ground. It's a medium roast, so it's more brown. Should have a coffee cooler in next week. Alright, that's good. So I'll save my hands a little bit on the arthritis. Cuts into my PS5 time. Alright, peace out.